5 signs an avoidant is secretly obsessed with you and won't admit it. Avoidants are some of the most confusing people you'll ever emotionally engage with. They pull away when you get close, give you mixed signals when you're trying to love them, and often make you feel like you're the only one who's emotionally invested. But here's the twist. While they may act cold or detached on the surface, that doesn't mean they don't care. In fact, some avoidants are secretly obsessed with you. They just won't admit it. Not to you, not to themselves, and not even to their closest friends. It's like they're in a private, emotional, war-craving connection, but terrified of it. If you've ever walked away from someone thinking they didn't care, this video might make you reconsider. Let's talk about 5 subtle but powerful signs that an avoidant is obsessed with you, but they're too guarded to ever say it out loud. Number 1, they watch you closely, even when pretending not to. The first sign of secret obsession is in their eyes. Avoidants are hyper-aware of you. They notice your moods, who you're talking to, what you're posting, and how you move in the world. But they'll never say it. In fact, they may act indifferent or disinterested when you talk about your life. But then later, they'll bring up something you mentioned in passing. A tiny detail that only someone who was really listening would have caught. It's as if they're keeping tabs on you from a distance, collecting emotional data, but refusing to engage emotionally. They might ignore your texts, but watch your stories within seconds. They might act aloof in person, but get visibly irritated when someone else gets close to you. Their silence isn't always apathy. It's often an intense internal reaction. They're trying to hide. They care deeply, but they've trained themselves not to show it. Number 2, they react strongly when you pull away. Here's the second sign. When you actually start to mirror their detachment and pull away, they panic. But again, in avoidance style, it doesn't always come out as open vulnerability. Instead, they might become passive, aggressive, suddenly critical of you, or are even emotionally distant on purpose, just to regain the upper hand. But underneath all that, they're unraveling. See, avoidance feels safe when they're the ones creating distance, but when you take your energy back, it shatters their illusion of control. Suddenly, their worst fear, being abandoned or emotionally exposed, comes to the surface. They may not come running with flowers or grand confessions, but their behavior shifts. They start texting more, asking indirect questions, or even showing up where you are without warning. They can't admit they're obsessed, so they play chess instead, trying to keep you close without ever saying why. Number 3, they remember things you forgot, you shared. Avoidance may pretend your connection is casual, but their memory betrays them. This is one of the clearest signs. They're secretly obsessed. They remember the small stuff, the name of your childhood pet, the brand of coffee. You like that thing you said you wanted to do someday 6 months ago. When someone genuinely doesn't care, they don't remember those things. But when someone's obsessed and trying to suppress it, their brain stores it all like emotional contraband. They may not text you daily, but they recall what matters to you, and it slips out in strange ways. Like when they preemptively bring up something you never thought they noticed. It's their way of saying, "I pay attention," without admitting they care. Avoidants live in a constant push-pull, trying to control their emotional exposure while still feeding their secret attachment to you. Number 4, they show up in your orbit, but won't get too close. One of the most confusing signs of avoidant obsession is their physical or digital proximity. They won't call you to hang out, but somehow they're always nearby. Maybe they comment on your friend's post, show up at events you're attending, or suddenly become active on social media when you are. They insert themselves into your atmosphere without explicitly connecting. It's like they want to be close enough to feel your presence, but far enough to avoid the risk of rejection. They keep themselves emotionally protected by staying one step removed, close enough to observe, distant enough to deny it. And if you ask them about it, they'll play it cool, say it's all coincidence, or act like you're imagining things, but you're not. That repeated accidental closeness is often a breadcrumb trail of a hidden obsession they're too afraid to face. Number 5, they sabotage the connection. Right when it gets deep. This is the most painful and final sign. They pull away hard right when things start getting real. Why? Because obsession and intimacy trigger the same fear in an avoidance nervous system. Loss of control. The moment they start falling for you, their mind goes into protection mode. They may pick fights, disappear, or suddenly talk about needing space. It's not because they don't want you. It's because they want you too much. And that makes them feel dangerously vulnerable. When an avoidant is obsessed, their emotional logic becomes warped. The closer you get, the more likely they are to shut down because they fear being consumed, abandoned, or emotionally humiliated. But here's what most people don't understand. That dramatic pullback isn't proof. They didn't care. It's often proof that they cared so much, they couldn't handle the risk of it. So what do? When you suspect an avoidant is secretly obsessed with you? First, understand that this dynamic isn't about fixing them. Obsession isn't the same as emotional availability. You might be the center of their thoughts, but still feel completely alone with them. What you're sensing may be real, but that doesn't mean it's healthy. An avoidant in secret obsession is often trapped in their own fear. If they're not doing the work to confront that fear, then your love, your patience, and your emotional investment will only go so far. You deserve connection that doesn't come with constant guessing. You deserve love that's spoken, not just silently, felt at the same time. Don't ignore your intuition. If you feel there's something deeper going on, there probably is. Avoidants are masters of hiding their feelings, even from themselves. But obsession leaves clues. It seeps out through frustration, jealousy, withdrawal, and strange moments of vulnerability. One minute, they're cold. The next, they're deeply present, and it leaves you spinning. Just remember, it's not your job to decode someone who refuses to be honest. If they're obsessed but hiding, then they're not emotionally safe. Wanting you isn't enough. They have to show up for you. In the end, obsession without courage is just emotional chaos. It can flatter your ego, but it will exhaust your soul. If you recognize these signs in someone and you want to move forward with them, be clear about your needs. Speak calmly but firmly. And if they still keep playing games or hiding in emotional shadows, then it's time to walk toward peace, not toward their confusion. Love should not feel like you're constantly chasing a ghost. You deserve someone who doesn't just think about you all the time in secret, but who looks you in the eyes and says, "I'm here, I'm choosing you." Anything less is noise, no matter how intense the obsession behind it. Thanks so much for watching. If you recognized any of these signs in someone you know, or even in yourself, remember that understanding these patterns is the first step toward healthier relationships. Avoidance can be complicated, but you deserve clarity and honesty, not hidden obsession or mixed signals. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe for more real talk about relationships and emotional health. And drop a comment below. Have you ever dealt with an avoidant who acted obsessed but never said it? I'd love to hear your story. Until next time, take care of your heart, and remember, you deserve to be truly seen and loved. See you in the next video.